You know how in the tech world you're constantly hearing about platforms that promise to unlock, well, all sorts of new possibility?
Oh, yeah, there's always a new buzzword, a new
Yeah,
platform.
exactly. So today we're trying to cut through some of that hype and take a really focused look at Xuda.
Right.
Our sources suggest it's offering some pretty concrete opportunities in application development and deployment.
Yeah, it seems less about just abstract promises and more about the actual how.
We're talking about a system design not just for like coding itself, but for really streamlining how apps are built, scaled, managed, whether you're, a solo innovator or maybe part of a huge enterprise.
That's right. And what seems really compelling, based on the stuff we looked at, is its ambition. It wants to be this comprehensive environment for the whole application lifecycle.
The whole thing, start to finish.
Pretty much, not just writing the code, but orchestrating everything. From that first idea,
Hmm.
getting it to users, and then crucially managing it effectively over time. The sources really hammer home the potential for Xuda to unlock, well, significant opportunities.
Yeah.
Efficiency, innovation,
Mm.
the whole package.
Okay, let's really dig into those opportunities then. That's our mission for the Steam Dive. Pull out the most significant ones Zuda presents.
Sounds good. Where do we start? The sources cover a lot.
Let's start with the foundation. Building custom applications, the core of it all.
Absolutely. I mean,
Mhm.
any platform like this lives or dies by how well it lets people build tailored solutions, right?
Right.
And the sources highlight Zuda's orchestration tools and its plugin system. These seem key.
Okay, orchestration tools. Unpack that a bit. Sounds kind of fancy.
Well, think of them as the behind-the-scenes managers. They help coordinate all the different moving parts of an application,
Okay.
which makes the whole development and deployment process, well, a lot smoother than maybe traditional ways.
Less complex, faster.
Exactly. This coordinated approach, plus the plugin system, they really cut down the usual complexity and can seriously speed up getting a custom app out the door.
Gotcha. So if you have a specific idea, maybe for a niche market that's underserved,
Yeah.
Zuda could give you the tools to build that faster. And they mentioned multi-platform too. Web, iOS, Android.
Yeah, that's a big plus right out of the gate. Building something that works seamlessly across different devices,
Definitely. And then there's the Zuda marketplace you mentioned.
which seems really central to expanding those initial possibilities. It's not just about you building alone.
Right. Fostering collaboration, an ecosystem.
Precisely. It's this hub where developers find and share pre-built components, tools, plugins, maybe even whole app modules.
So it saves you time.
Saves you time, and it
Alright.
creates this fantastic opportunity. You can find stuff to boost your own project, sure, but you can also contribute your own creations.
And potentially make money from them.
That's the idea. Imagine you build a really slick user authentication plugin or some cool UI widgets. The marketplace is your direct channel to offer that to loads of users.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, maybe for people looking beyond just solo projects.
Mhm.
The sources talk about developers collaborating through the marketplace, combining plugins, combining expertise.
Yeah, building more comprehensive solutions together. And they even mention white-labeled apps.
Explain white labeled quickly.
Sure, it's basically a ready-made application that another company can buy, put their own brand on, and sell as their own.
So if a business needs software but doesn't have the devs in-house.
Exactly. They could potentially find a customizable solution right there in the Duty ecosystem. Big opportunity.
And connecting this to the bigger picture enterprises, how does Zuda fit in there?
Well, they seem to be positioning themselves for that too. They offer branded versions of the platform.
Meaning a company gets its own look and feel.
Yeah, and crucially, the option for on-premises deployments.
So not in the cloud, but on their own servers.
Right. Which is huge for organizations in regulated sectors. Think healthcare, finance, government.
Places with strict data privacy and security needs.
Precisely. So they get the power and flexibility of Xuda, but keep tight control over their data. That opens up considerable opportunities in those specific fields.
It sounds like they're trying to blend that modern development speed with the kind of robust control big organizations need.
Seems like it.
And it's not just about building brand new stuff, is it? One thing that really jumped out from the sources was modernizing legacy apps.
Oh, that's a big one. A really significant area.
Because lots of businesses still run on older tech.
Absolutely. Sometimes decades-old DOS or Windows apps running critical operations. Xuda apparently has features to transform these.
Into modern web and mobile solutions.
That's the claim. Imagine the opportunities there. offering consulting, migration services.
Or building plugins specifically to bridge the gap between old and new, using Xuda's API maybe?
Exactly. It's about unlocking the value stuck in those old systems and making them accessible today.
It's not just dragging the old into the new, though. The sources also push Xuda's cross-platform strength. PWAs, native mobile apps.
Right, progressive web apps and native apps too. The goal seems to be a consistent user experience, whatever device you're on.
And PWAs. Those are like websites that act like apps, right?
Hmm,
Installable, some offline features.
pretty much.
Oh.
And the opportunities there are really interesting, especially where offline capability is key.
Right.
Retail, logistics, maybe field service teams who don't always have a connection. PWAs could be great for them.
And you could link that with, say, an admin console back at base.
Exactly. Integrate the admin side with mobile apps for the teams out there. Streamlined workflows, better efficiency. It makes sense.
Now, for the more techie folks listening, APIs and workflow automation, Xuda isn't a closed box, right? It talks to other
Definitely
tools.
not closed.
Yeah.
It has API capabilities so it can exchange data with other software.
Okay.
Plus, its library plugins act like pre-built connectors. They can automate repetitive tasks, integrate with third-party services.
So what sort of services?
Big popular stuff like Stripe for payments, Twilio for communications, Firebase for back-end things.
So you could build middleware, connect different systems together.
Absolutely. E-commerce platforms, supply chain tools, IoT devices. You could use Xuda to link them up, or just build tools to automate boring internal processes. The potential for custom workflows seems pretty substantial.
Okay, and speaking of workflow, reliability, critical operations, how does Xuda handle that? The sources mentioned fault tolerance.
Yeah, that's another key area. The underlying infrastructure is apparently designed to support building really reliable, fault-tolerant applications.
Which opens up opportunities where downtime is just not an option.
Exactly. Think mission-critical stuff.
Yeah.
Telecoms, banking, emergency services.
Right.
Building apps and workflows that can handle system failures, ensure high availability. That's a major plus and a big opportunity for developers targeting those demanding sectors. Requires careful design, of course.
It really sounds like they're aiming for versatility. The sources even gave specific industry examples.
They did.
Yeah.
It underscores how adaptable the platform might be.
Like retail, you mentioned inventory management, e-commerce.
Yep. Education too, learning management systems, maybe with cross-platform access, healthcare patient portals, telemedicine.
So pretty broad applicability.
Seems like it. And for startups, the idea of using pre-built tools to cut costs and get going faster, that's a compelling opportunity right there.
We've mentioned plugins quite a bit. It feels like the plugin ecosystem itself is a major opportunity zone.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about using plugins, it's about building them, contributing to the platform.
Leaping its future capabilities.
Precisely. The system seems open, extensible. So developers can create and sell plugins for, say, new database tech that's emerging.
Or framework plugins for new UI trends like Tailwind or material design.
Exactly. Or even super specific widgets for particular business needs, advanced calendars, real-time dashboards, you name it. It's a chance to innovate and become a key player in that ecosystem.
And as the platform grows, it sounds like they're looking for partners too, businesses collaborating directly with Xuda.
Yeah, the sources mention that. Opportunities for direct partnership.
What might that look like?
Could be several things. Becoming a certified partner, offering implementation, training, support services, that's pretty standard.
Okay.
Or maybe developing industry-specific templates or starter kits, something to give users in, say, finance or manufacturing a head start.
That makes sense. Speeds things up.
Definitely. And for companies with expertise in certain regions, maybe emerging markets, collaborating with Xuda on global expansion could be a strategic move.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this all together. If you had to distill the essence of Xuda and the opportunities it presents, what's the core message from our sources?
Well, in essence, Xuda comes across as this really comprehensive platform for both developing and deploying modern apps, especially at scale.
Emphasis on scale and performance?
Yeah, managing large apps efficiently, optimizing performance, scalability, those seem key. And the marketplace is vital. Accelerating development, fostering that collaborative innovation.
Plus the different ways to deploy.
Right, PWAs, native apps, regular web pages, apps just for specific user groups. Lots of flexibility there, combined with scalable hosting, global data centers.
And that on-premises option for enterprises needing tight security.
Exactly. So it positions itself as this versatile platform to create, deploy, and scale, well, exceptional applications, as they say. The
Mhm.
sheer range of features aiming at both solo devs and big companies, it highlights a really wide array of potential opportunities.
So, as you've tuned into our deep dive exploring these Zuda opportunities, we hope you've got a clearer picture of the potential here across different industries for different kinds of users.
Yeah, lots to think about.
And the question we want to leave you with is this. Which of these possibilities, these potential avenues, really sparks your interest or lines up with what you're doing professionally?
Is there a problem you've seen, a market need you've spotted?
Where Zuda's capabilities might just offer a compelling solution, it's definitely something worth investigating further, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, worth a closer look.